to the Seireitei, a Bleach fandom community podcast brought to you by copious amounts of fan souling because oh my freaking hell street, golly gracious gosh, we got a new chapter. What the fuck? Today I am joined by Del.
Putting the hell in hello!
Oh, and Nomi.
Hiya, flying on by like a hell butterfly.
Oh. My gosh, you guys. I have no words. I knew that it was coming. Still in shock.
I've not stopped thinking about it since we've read it, and just already my mind is whirring with possibilities and what this all means and trying to dissect it all. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I also, I don't know whether y'all were following the manga weekly when it was coming out, and like, because I have that very active memory of like waking up in the morning before I would go to class and being like, okay, right, it's Thursday, new Bleach chapter coming out, so I'm gonna read that, and then I'm gonna go to class, and then sometimes I would like want to cry in the middle of class, and people would be like, are you fine? And I'll be like, I mean, yeah, I'm fine, it's just that the new chapter of my favorite manga came out, and so I'm like still processing. But there was something, like, I didn't expect to be hit in the feels so hard by the experience of like opening up a new chapter and reading it on my computer and then like taking to the internet and seeing what people had to say about it. Like that experience, in addition to seeing all of these characters that I know so well and love so dearly again for the first time in let me be very clear. I thought that August 4th, 2016 was the last time I was going to cry about a Bleach manga chapter release. I thought I was done. And then this happened and I went, "Oh my gosh, it's the same I didn't expect it to feel so fresh, and I didn't expect to still love it so much because the end of the last arc was for actually. This is a good time to say, if y'all are not engaging with the final arc of the manga, this episode is going to be chock full of spoilers. Like, turn back now. We were terrible about that structurally. I'm so sorry.
Yes, good point. We got sidetracked by all the fan souling and fangirling and fan whatevering.
Yeah.
It's physically impossible for us to talk about this chapter without talking about the last arc and spoiling Thousand Year Blood War. So yeah, definitely.
Right. And it picks up after the end of Thousand Year Blood War, so it's directly tied to events that take place in that arc. So if you're an anime only person, then this is your cue to stop listening if you don't want spoilers, because that's all this is going to be.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got ahead of ourselves. But yeah, whatever. Short version is the experience of reading the chapter and then engaging with it after was super, super nostalgic for me in a way that I didn't anticipate, because the end of the final arc was so emotionally trying for lots of us. But like, I was actively not okay for like a bit after that. So.
Yeah, no wonder. So you mentioned, where we part of it was coming out manga chapter by manga chapter. So I picked Bleach up after the manga, like just as the manga was coming to an end, I was watching the anime for the first time. So like I missed that. I missed out on that whole experience. This was my first time experiencing it with any manga actually at all. Was this sort of hype, this build up, and then obviously because I'm not as across when chapters launch or anything, Nomi messages me on like the 9th, because I thought in my head it's coming out on the 10th, but Nomi messages me on the 9th at like 4:00, and she's like, "Oh, that's it out," and I'm like, "What?" I was not like ready. I was like at work and I was like freaking out because I was like, "Wait, it's out just now?" And then I went home and
time zones make it super, super weird and wild. So yeah, and there are always going to be leaks a couple of days in advance as well. Like I saw some Korean scans and some Japanese scans before I was able to read it in English too. So.
But yeah, I'm the same as Lethan. I didn't have this. This is my first experience waiting for something to come out, and that just kind of rush of emotion as you're reading it. Like I was still at work, but I kind of figured out the time zones and knew it was going to be around that day. And when the notification from the Shonen Jump app came up on my phone saying new Bleach one shot, I was just like locked myself in the office, made sure people had like things to do, and just sat and watched and just read it. And I had to take a couple of moments because I couldn't go back out and face people.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I needed to read, then digest. Then I came into the server and spoke about it with a lot of people who pointed out some more things to me. Then I
Ooh,
went and read it
exciting.
again. And then I read it a third time, and then I read it a fourth time today before the podcast. So will we dive in and just start chatting about it then?
Yeah, let's
do this.
Right. That intro, let's start right at the very, very beginning, because the intro made me slightly nervous, right? Because we had this analogy of these two fish in the bowl.
Go on.
Wow! Sorry. I think a T-Rex just borrowed Dale's mic.
No, it's all just me. I'm so multifaceted, you don't even know.
Okay, I'm curious about that reaction, Dale. Tell me the thought process behind it.
Oh my gosh! Sogyo no Kotawari means twin fish. So, like, whenever I see two fish, like, I mean, it's not, like the truth of twin Pisces or whatever. There are a lot of various translations. But so whenever I see two fish in Bleach, I tend to think Ukitake first, even though I know that's not always the case. And that was, yes, I have a question. One of the questions that I was going to lead in with for both of you was, like, who do you think these two goldfish represent? Because, I'm well aware that it may not actually be an Ukitake thing, but I do think that's a valid reading of this comparison. So, yes, my mind went Ukitake first, which of course made me nervous because of the way the 1,000-year Blood War arc ended for him. So, but go on. I can say more about that later.
Yeah, Nomi, what did you pick up from that?
I picked up Ukitake. Yeah,
Did you?
Yeah, I picked up the goldfish, and I was just like, the whole. But then I feel like there might be some kind of symbolism between Ukitake and Kuraku as well, because of course they've always got the duality.
Yes.
And with the smaller, the bigger one kind of passing away, leaving the little one to thrive, I felt that is symbolism between them as well, which made me sad.
Nice. I'll admit my mind didn't go to Ukitake straight away. It was more facilitated by the discussions on the Discord server. But where my mind went first, and this is why I was a little bit nervous, was, there's been a lot of talk about, like, what will next, quote unquote, next generation Bleach look like if it ever did happen. And for me, I was worried that this whole, two fish swimming in the bowl, you took one away, you were sad, but then it grew bigger and it grew and it became more. I was wondering if that was like symbolism for the next generation of Bleach, whereby, these younger characters that are now here, if we take away the old characters, are now getting a chance to grow. Now that could be taken, I was taking that in two ways. Either, you've got the removal of a lot of characters from the 1,000-year Blood War that are now gone, so now you've got these new captains and lieutenants springing up, and it's like a chance for them to grow into the limelight and stuff. But I was worried that it was maybe we're going to move away from the adults of Bleach and now we're going to focus on the young of Bleach, kind of Boruto style, I guess. And that was where I was getting a bit nervous. So I'm hoping it's a Ukitake reference. Like, I really hope that that's what that was, and the words round it wasn't pointing that direction.
Yeah. I think so. I had sort of a list of thoughts that came to me initially, which are, so I think it could be a strong metaphor for anybody who lost someone close to them who they thought was more powerful and now has to assume some position of power. Like, I don't know that there's, I mean, other than her being terrified of fish cakes, obviously, but like Isane losing Unohana and now being captain, she never would have had the self-confidence to step into that role of her own volition. But now that Unohana's gone, she doesn't have much choice. And I bet you she's doing a damn good job. We don't get to see her much, but like, she's present, she exists, she's got her sister by her side. So that's one example. The other thought that I had was, like, it could be Yamamoto and Kyoraku. It could be the fact that
I thought that.
Yeah, Kyoraku would never have stepped into the position of captain commander had Yamamoto, which also, like, Yamamoto was not going to hand over those reins. That's not the kind of leader he was. But now that he's gone, Kyoraku has to. Oh God, like, and now, like, I'm totally just spiraling because these are things that I've not been able to talk about with y'all because we've been avoiding spoilers on the rest of the podcast. But like, I have a lot of thoughts about, like, Kyoraku and mental health, and I think now that he's Captain Commander, there are things that he pushes himself to do in a forward-moving way that he never felt the need to do before because he was like slightly less visible. And like, yes, he was a captain, but he could still get drunk on a roof and just lie there all day and it was okay. And he can't do that anymore, you know? So there's that, and then what was my other thought? What was my
it
other
Rukia and
thought?
Ukitake, maybe?
Yeah,
That was the other
Rukia.
one I
Yep,
was thinking of.
Rukia and Ukitake is a good thought. It's anybody. It's like, yeah, it's anybody who has to move up in the wake of somebody's death or departure. Oh my gosh, the other one. Yes, of course. We'll get to him later in a more robust capacity, I'm sure. But what a fucking name, Xylaparo, who I'm now just gonna call Xyle because I'm not saying his full name forever. It's too much. His twin Ilfort died like way back in the beginning of the Arankar arc, and Xyle, of course, became like an important espada, and now is apparently like a big fucking deal in hell. And I wonder if the fact that his twin died means that he gets to then, and maybe that comes from a place of grief or rage or pain rather than through like overcoming obstacles, say. But I think it could also be a Xyle thing because Xyle is also a twin. So anyway, those are my thoughts.
Good thoughts. Okay, and then we see the fish flying across the sky, and this is where I was getting a bit of facilitated discussion going in the server from people who were talking about that representing Ukitake. And look, I'll admit, I'll be completely honest, right? I read parts of Thousand Year Blood War. I haven't read all of it start to finish all the way through. Like, I've picked up volumes and I've picked up sections and chapters and things. There was a lot of fights and stuff I missed. But am I going to say his name wrong? Is it Kazui? Is that how you say it?
That's how I've been saying it, yeah.
Zoe, yeah.
So yeah, I'll say it like Kazui. Kazui, at the end of Bleach, the original, like Thousand Year Blood War, I thought his character was going to be a bit more interesting. I thought that he was going to be very Orihime-like, but have Ichigo's power. Like, I thought that would have been a really interesting take if that was a dynamic that they were going to go for. But the start of this chapter for me was a bit like, oh, he's just like any other kid.
Really? I thought he was quite Orihime-like, actually. In fact, I mean, not just aesthetically, but there is a panel where he's like, that one panel where he's looking back over his shoulder and his eyes are so big. Those are Orihime's eyes to me. Not that that's what his character is or anything. But I thought the level of like light-spirited helpfulness was very Orihime.
I just thought the leaving the room in the middle, like leaving bed in the middle of the night, was typical of like a rowdy child wanting to escape and break rules rather than.
See, I drew parallels to Ichigo.
Yeah, I was thinking a bit more Ichigo than Orihime.
Because of the whole, he's there to help souls. Like, you've got that whole, when we first see Ichigo, he's helping that one child. And like when she's crying in the street corner, and then you've got this almost first time we're seeing Kazui in this chapter, and he's going to help us all. So I saw the parallels there.
Yeah, I just thought it would have been more interesting if he was a bit more like his mother.
That's really reasonable if Kazui ends up being a fairly even hybrid of Orihime and Ichigo. I mean, he's the child of both of them, and he's been raised by both of them. So if there's influence there from both sides, it certainly tracks.
Yeah, and I think that's why I really liked Chika, because she was for me, was like a perfect blend of Renji and Rukia.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe it's because I really enjoy those two characters together that a perfect blend of those two together don't bother me. But I'll admit there are aspects to Ichigo and Orihime's characters that I'm not as loving or compassionate towards, and that's why I thought like it'd be really nice to have a male character with unbelievable like levels of spiritual pressure, no doubt, who is very empathetic, like ridiculously so, but not from a place of like I want to go into battle to protect the people I love, but from a place of I am genuinely scared to fight. This is terrifying. A bit like Shuhei has that kind of in him, where he's got this power, but he's so scared. And I feel like that's something that Shonen lacks, is that there should be, like, these are young characters. They should have a fear of war and fighting and violence. Like, that is not the normal thing to want to charge into.
Yeah.
So I guess I got excited for that, and now I'm thinking, oh, maybe I might need to reel that excitement back.
It's so funny, because it's like, Shuhei is actually a prime example of that kind of character. And then it's like, as Kubo was creating Shuhei, he was like, no, this is too soft. Give him face tattoos. Like, what?
But anyway, yes. So then we find out that Kazui just knows how to open a gate to hell.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. I thought that was a gate to Soul Society.
I thought it was a gate to Hukamundo at first, but actually it was Nova who facilitated this discussion in our server. And the more and more I've read through it, the more and more I've realised that Nova's right. It's a gate to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Because when he opens it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hell butterflies that pop out.
Yeah.
And then at the very, very, very end, if we skip all the way to the very end, where we see Kazui running, we see him running, following the hell butterflies. And the hell butterflies are leading him right to Hell's Gate, where we can see the skeleton looking down on him. And actually, as he's summoned that door, we can see the exact same eyeballs appearing around him as he's doing the pray that they do in Japan when you go to a shrine.
Mm-hmm.
You can see those exact same eyeballs appearing around him for the gates of hell. And then the hell butterfly leading him there.
Ah, jeez.
Because it talks about the hell butterflies having hell in their name, and you see the hell butterfly that he was chasing after going towards the doors, the gates of hell at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, hell butterflies do exist in Soul Society, and so now we just understand to some extent why they're called hell butterflies in the first place. And like, we understand that there's more interaction between Soul Society and hell than we ever would have anticipated prior to this chapter, I think.
Yeah.
Gosh, I thought, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think it's worth pointing out as well that the Hellverse movie, at this point, Kubo has announced that it is not canon.
Oh, yeah, no.
So, for those of you who are listening and are thinking of trying to draw parallels to this new chapter and Hellverse, it's not going to be possible. This is what we, like, almost a retelling of what they did, because Kubo was completely disappointed in what they did with that movie.
That movie's so silly. My brother and I watched it together for the first time, like, oh geez, years ago. But like, and we watched it dubbed, and the amount of times that they say, like, that, I don't even remember his name, but that dude with like the light colored hair with bandages across his face and stuff, the amount of times that he in particular, but also other characters, just say "welcome to hell" in the dub is so much. So now my brother and I just occasionally are like, oh, welcome to hell to each other in situations where it otherwise wouldn't make sense. Also, like, Ukitake kind of has a lot to do in that movie, so, like, important clarification. Thank you. And Zyle. Like, Zyle's in that movie for a bit, isn't he? I think. I don't fucking remember.
There's a few people. There's a few people that were in it, wasn't there?
Yeah.
We watched it recently in the server. We did it as a movie night in the server very recently, and I still all I remember is that one section of it would be animated very well, like they put all their budget into those frames, and then the next it was like a 90s fucking pipe screensaver.
Yep.
I was working. I just remember reading through the commentary, just laughing to myself, watching you all react to it.
I was having a pop, wasn't I? I was just like, this is shite. What did they ruined Kuraku's character? I was just raging.
They ruined Kyoraku's character in Diamond Dust Rebellion. That made no sense. I'm gonna be mad about that till the day I fucking die. I mean,
I agree.
I won't be. Like, literally beat up my faves anytime you want, but that was stupid.
That was stupid.
Ugh.
That was plus, like, no offense or anything, but like the Soul Society arc in Bleach, like Ichigo had to go a roundabout fucking way to be able to get into the Soul Society, and yet here's this guy in that bloody movie could just teleport himself inside. How the fuck did he get in there? Anyway,
I don't know. Sorry, but that's not what we're here to talk about. No, you're right.
That's not what we're here to talk about.
We should, though. I'm realizing we should do special episodes about the movies, because this is too much fun.
Just ranting about the movies and how bad they are. Anyway, yeah, if you would like to hear that, give us that feedback. Let us know on our socials. Yeah. Anyway, coming back to the comic, I guess. Massive shout out to Nova for helping me draw the line that Kazui was opening a gate to hell. Because that would never have made that connection.
Yeah. Wow, same. Okay, well, whatever. I have a lot of things that I was excited about. So, one of the next things on my list is, in addition to seeing all of these characters in Soul Society again, the like technological advancement war between Urahara and Kuretsuchi and everybody with their smartphones and their TVs and stuff. I just think it's a very tongue-in-cheek way to, I don't think it's retconning per se, but it's Kubo being like, okay, understood that it's silly that there's some technology here that is very, very advanced and very thorough, but they don't have TVs. Like, that is unusual. And so I like that he went in and was like, okay, we're just gonna have the two scientist boys fight it out, and that's what this is.
It's so great though, and just everyone's like, you can kind of tell from everybody's reactions as to whose side they're on.
Yeah.
in the whole war and everything.
Did you see Shinji's face with the hologram? How fucking over it he was.
Yeah.
And poor Shuhei, bless him, like that reaction panel when the hologram actually shoots something and Kensei's like, what? And Shuhei's like, ah! It was really good.
Kensei's just like, well, you did say something.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I did like that. It was kind of like, whose is bigger? It was like a total comparison. It was an ego comparison contest. It was very good. That was good. I will admit, kudos to Kubo, because he did put a lot of little jokes in there, didn't he? Couple of little digs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I am an Ichiruki shipper, but I loved the joke that he put in about like the strained relationship of like Orihime and Ichigo, like as a dig from Rukia. But
that was good.
I wanted to bring that up. Yeah, what was it she said? Estranged couples that have lost domestic bliss because of emotional abuse or something was what she said.
Oh my god, yeah.
Which is hilarious, but like I love that he put that in. But also, like where did Ichigo asks her, where did you learn those terms? Like he's shouting that at her, and that's when she talks about like the TV and stuff. But that's actually a callback to the very, very first ever volume of Bleach, where Rukia, who was learning the colloquialism, I said that wrong, of big boy in the first manga, she calls him a big boy, and he's like, where did you learn that? And it's so good.
Oh, and here I thought she was just like watching K-dramas now or something.
I mean, that's probably where she got her hairstyle inspiration from, to be fair.
Yeah, probably.
Don't even talk to me about the hair. It's awful. Oh, Rukia, darling, let the hair down, please, for the love of God. Just take that tie out. You're not trying to look like you're 12. You're not your daughter. Anyway. I've got a lot to say about all of their hair, to be honest. Renji's
oh, really?
As well.
Wait, okay, go on.
Yeah.
Look, don't at me, right? Okay, I'm not a fan of Renji. I feel like Rukia's looking like she's fucking 12 with her hairstyle, and Renji's looking like he's fucking 68 with his. Like, Renji's old school style where it was like disheveled, it was spiky, and it was all over the place, and he looked like a pineapple. I loved it. I thought it was great. I just don't like the braid. I'm not a fan. And then, of course, we've got bloody, who else was it I said I was going to have a pop at? Renji and Ichigo, oh my god, right, okay, that hairline is that, like, he looks like a sheen, and it freaks me out. I don't like it. Like, I think if we'd seen it as a slow progression, it would be fine. Like, I'd be like, cool, that's fine, like a slow progression. But like, and I know this got shoved on us at the end of 1,000 Year Blood War, but it's still like, to see it in action.
I mean, he's 29 now.
Yeah, but come on, like that. No, like, can you, like, please get some sort of fucking hair regrowth thing on that forehead of yours, Ichigo, please, for the love of God.
I'm sure Mayuri and Kisuke will both argue whichever growth is better.
Honestly, see if Urahara wants to give Ichigo his hat, I'll take it. Like, I'll take that.
That's no, at that point then, because this is 2021, that's Ichigo, like, doing that thing where he sees what Gen Z is doing, and he's like, oh, bucket hats are cool now. Urahara can pull it off, because it's been his thing for a long time. Urahara was that trendsetter, calling it now. But, no, Ichigo, no. Like, can you imagine, like, rolling up to pick his kid up at school wearing an actual bucket hat in 2021, and when he's, like, basically 30? That's a terrible idea, and I'm not here for it.
Look, anything is better than that hairline. That hairline to me, just looking at it, is offensive, alright?
Pretty rough.
Anyway, so apologies out there to anybody that has a hairline similar. I was just like, you're intruding upon a sheen, stop it.
Speaking of Renji and Ichigo, though, can we just call out the fact that Ichigo and Renji and Ichigo were just having a face-to-face FaceTime, and it was Renji who called Ichigo? Like, how is that? Bros for life. They call each other and just, like, chat. And I mean, okay, Ichigo was having a very soul-related public conversation in Willpower Ramen, of all places.
Oh my god. Oh, the scan that I have says Spirit Ramen. That's interesting.
Oh. Mine's the official viz in the Shonen Jump
app. I think I have. I don't know what I have. I have a link that I found on the internet. That's what I have. Yep.
Yeah, mine said Willpower Ramen.
I am trying to find it. I'm on the same as you though, Nomi, so mine's will probably be the same as you.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, willpower ramen. Yeah.
Let me actually now I'm second guessing myself. I think I remember that, but maybe
no, I do
I'm
remember
wrong.
Spirit Ramen because everyone was talking about it on the server, and I was like, "Where are you getting this name from?" Mine says something different.
And also, like, I haven't looked at the kanji either.
I didn't see it because it's like a tiny little bit underneath the picture because I was so just looking at Ichigo's face. I couldn't see beyond it.
Fair enough, yeah.
So I just want to spam that forehead. Like, I just want to run up and just spam it.
I feel like my hair kind of looks like that right now. It's fine.
I think if that's your baseline, it's fine. But on Ichigo, like, I just went from 0 to 60, and it was weird to see.
All right, yeah, mine does say Spirit Ramen. I sort of like looking at versions that are translated by different people. I think it can eliminate things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I will admit, I'm very much like Rukia in the sense that, see, when she was like, oh, this new phone can do this, I want one now. That's me. Like, I keep a phone for like 2 or 3 years, and then somebody's like, but look at what my phone could do. I was like, I want one.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was very mom energy of her, I thought.
It was.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. She's too cute. And isn't this the same kind of kimono that Renji was wearing back in season 2?
Oh yeah, yes it is.
Oh yes.
He must be on a day off or something because he's just like chilling.
It's his face when Rukia snatches the phone out of his hand to speak to Ichigo. Like he's had to put up with this a lot.
And it's like, it's a case of, oh, you can't see her, you won't see by turning it. Like she's turning the phone around.
She's turning the phone around. It's so good.
Oh, she's too cute.
Oh, it's so good. Honestly, these three, the friendship goals between these three is just brilliant.
I love it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Go back to Ichika for a second when she goes to Madarame Dojo. And there's a cute little bit where when Yumichika comes in, and I must admit, it took me a while to realise that it was Yumichika.
I didn't notice! I'm sorry.
So Yumichika walks in looking amazing, I might add.
Yeah.
And
it does.
Ichika calls Yumichika Chica, and I just thought that was adorable. And then as I was looking through raw scans for something else, I happened to find out...
Do they both have the same Chica? They have the same Chica at the end of
the name Chica.
Is it the same one?
Yep.
Oh my god!
And then, so I was looking through scans and I found this page in Japanese, and I was with Louise in the server, and we translated to see what kind of honorific Chica gives Ichika. No, other way around. Ichika gives Chica. And she gives him the honorific Chin, which I think is adorable. And it's kind of like a diminutive variant of Chan, and it's mostly used by young girls who are friends. So Yumichika is Chica Chin, and I think that's the cutest thing. ever.
Oh, that's really good to know. The scan that I have here says San, which is like very not that. So that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's really cute that, you know, these are the new generation of, I mean, throwing a ship out here, but these are the new generation of the gay uncles.
Oh, Hundo!
Oh my god, I love that.
Jushiro and Toshiro had the Shiro thing, and now Ichika and Yumichika have the Chika thing, and it's just nice.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
I love. Do you know what? When I first saw, like, because I'm not gonna lie, right? When Yumichika walked in, I did not recognize him at all, right? Now, I don't know if this is similar to the look that he had in Thousand Year Blood War, because I don't remember what he looked like at the end of Thousand Year Blood War. Right, because when this character showed up, I thought, wait a minute, has Byakuya got a wife?
Oh boy.
That was my first thought, just because like the gloves on the hands and everything, and I was like, they looked very noble family-esque the way they were dressed. I was like, wait a minute. And then I realized, oh no, it's Yumichika, and I was like, oh my god, I love this look on him, he looks great. But it's the face he makes to like Ikaku when like after he's done speaking to Ichika, like he looks at Ikaku like, what have you been doing to her? What have you been saying? It's so cute.
Yeah, the feathers were the thing that gave it away for me. Like Ikaku was there, so I was already I was like kind of already like, where is he? But
where is he?
Yeah, and then he showed up and I saw the feathers and I was like, yes, there you are.
Yeah, it took me a while because I was like, who's Chika? Have we met this Chika before? And then it clicked as I was like, wait, let's put 2 and 2 together here. It's gonna be Yumichika,
Yeah. The other thing that I thought was really silly about that little interaction is, so the bit when Ichika is fighting with Ikaku after she's like late for her training and she's like up on the roof doing the cool pose thing, and Ikaku is like, get down from the roof, don't pose on the roof. Do y'all remember how we met Ikaku and Yumichika in the very first part?
Posing on the roof.
Right, posing dramatically on the roof.
That's so good. I love the fact that it's Ikaku that's training her because he trained Renji. That's amazing.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I love how he has his own martial arts dojo now. Like, he's lieutenant of the 11th, but he still has like his own little martial arts dojo where he's probably teaches like anyone and everyone, really.
Kicks all their asses.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh, I love it.
He looks like he's thriving. He really does. Like, he feels. I think he seems quite settled in a way that is nice.
He's content.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of feeling sorry for like the likes of him and Hisagi and Renji and like, you know, the OG lieutenants. When you start seeing all these new lieutenants, I was starting to feel like sorry for these like the OG ones because they haven't moved up, but. And they're all content.
Well, Ikaku still also doesn't seem to want to. Like, Kenpachi's still around, which means that Ikaku, like, hasn't killed him or died under him yet. And I imagine that's still something that he has maintained throughout these years. Presumably, Kenpachi's only gotten stronger. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Renji's probably similar with Byakuya. Like, he's not quite managed to reach Byakuya's level yet, so I guess he probably doesn't want to be a captain then, does he? He's probably quite content the way Ikaku is.
Yeah.
But should we probably talk about these new lieutenants then?
Oh my god, please,
oh my gosh, I mean, you might have to stop me.
Go for it, Nomi.
Okay, well, okay, we'll start with Yu Yayahara. Okay.
Not my favorite, but sure.
I get that, but I also feel that she is the perfect complement to her captain, and her captain is Lisa Yaramaro. And I never thought I'd be fangirling about Lisa a whole week early. That's coming next episode, folks.
Oh shit.
So
yeah. The
fact that we've got this Yu is her first name and Yayahara is her last name. She is very much, she's got like a Gyaru fashion sense, which is derived from the English term gal. So she's got the bleach dyed hair, like dramatic makeup, girly glam, fake, very inspired by Western kind of almost
Jersey Shore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jersey Shore, fake tan, everything. And then you've got Lisa, who is a very kind of almost subdued version of a Kogal, which is they take their fashion inspiration from the schoolgirl outfits. And you saw that back in when we first met Lisa, when she's got her little, almost like her sailor uniform on.
Yeah.
And you see it again with her shikatsu, and they both kind of have it similarly. Words. Similar. They're both similar. I can't speak. And a Kogal is sometimes referred to themselves as Kaiaru. So you have got that similarity between them, and the two do balance each other out. However, there is the aspect of Kubo doesn't really know how to write good female characters. But for this sense, I think it kind of worked because they did. And there are some points of Yu that I just thought were hilarious. Like, there's this one line that forever's going to stick in my mind, and she's grabbed Ichigo, and she tells Ichigo that she wants to take a picture with filters. And instead of saying "say cheese," she says pecorino, which is a type of cheese.
Yeah.
And it's just forever going to stick with me. I haven't actually decided if I like this Yu yet, but these kind of things, and because of course it's the 8th and it's Lisa, I kind of had to like just say so much about her. But yes.
Yeah.
I think somebody else can take the other one though.
Does anybody?
Oh my god.
Okay, you go first.
No. I just you go, Del. You. I will.
Are you sure?
You. Yeah. Go.
Okay, great. Because I am thrilled about a couple of things. You know, I love my fucking pretty boys, and Ataru Rindo is a pretty boy. So we're just gonna put that right out there. The other thing is, and like we have yet to see him do more, but I love disabled representation in action settings. I love it so much. I love it so fucking much. So the fact that we have a deaf lieutenant is really, 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 really exciting. I think it's really exciting. And I think it's, granted, I know that this chapter is not about him. Maybe we will get a little bit more as this arc goes on. But I think the fact that he can just like lip read everything all the time, like, could be veering on that trope of like, oh, they're deaf, but they can quote unquote hear in other ways, which is like not great, like in the same way that Daredevil is blind, but he's like not really blind because he can use his body in incredible ways that he can basically see things. Like, that's not the best. I digress. I think it's really exciting that this is being included at all, because it just doesn't happen very often. And I also really like that the 7th Division is continuing to be very, like, not everybody, and I don't really know what Iba's relationship to this is necessarily, but we still have like animal imagery present within the 7th Division, which isn't something I thought I was going to latch onto, but like, A, what a cool power, and B, what a cool through line. So those are my initial thoughts about Rindo. I think he's going to be a fave. I think I'm really, really going to like him if we get to see more of him.
Yeah,
agreed. I love him. I think he's great, and as somebody who is partially, almost fully deaf in her left ear, it's been nice to see a character like this come in.
And it's great as well, like with the whole, as you say, the animal symbolism, and you kind of get a little perspective between the dynamic between him and Iba as well. Because when he's introduced to Ichigo, Renji uses his last name Rindo. But when Iba's looking for him, he calls him Matao. So they're on first name basis, which is similarly, again, that word. It's similar to the kind of relationship between Komamura and Iba. So you can see it there. And then I just have this cute little headcanon that Komamura in his wolf form is in the garden and Atao just looks after him.
Oh, that would be so lovely.
He's
so
why not?
For that.
Yeah.
My heart.
Sorry.
No, you're not.
Yeah. He also basically one-hit KOs a big hollow. So, like, this boy can fuck shit up.
Yeah.
And that attack is so fucking cool. Like, I did love the fact that obviously we got a bit of a hollow attack, and it was all the sort of, some of the new lieutenants showing off their powers. I really loved that. I got to, like, his was so cool.
Yep.
And very reminiscent, I guess, a little bit of, like, Stark.
Yeah, yeah, very much so.
Oh, yeah. And then, you kind of had that with Yu as well, because she had, I don't know if that was keto that she did or showing off her nails, but she had the kind of wolf imagery. And then...
that was a bear, I think.
Was it a bear?
It was a bear, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got Akon representing. I was so excited to get a little bit of him.
My God, yeah.
Oh, with his poison. Bless him.
Yes.
But, he's still there. He made it, guys. Yeah.
He did.
Is anybody else getting slight Yoruichi vibes from Yu?
I didn't even think about that, but that's a really good point. Yes.
Only because people have been talking about it, and people are saying, I don't know, there was a rumor flying around that she was Yoruichi's daughter, which doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
No, let's not do that.
It was, for me, it's the fact that she didn't use, or you can't see a Zanpakuto on her.
Zanpakuto, yeah, that's exactly I've not read anything about that parallel at all. I've not heard of it yet. But it was just now as I was flicking through the panels that as she's running up that hollow's spine, she didn't pull out her sword, and then she attacks using just her hands. It was the way she's running up that and then the things that she's wearing on the bottoms of her legs as well, just all of it kind of very reminiscent of Yoruichi for me.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm not getting a daughter vibe from that. But you're right, she doesn't have a Zanpakuto on her. Not that I can see. Not in the panel where we're introduced to her. I don't see one.
There's nothing on her. I mean, granted, all of these new characters have very, very scant fandom wikis at this point, but her fandom wiki doesn't say anything about her Zanpakuto.
When she makes her, her introduction with the whole kind of the stars and the fancy writing, you don't even see it attached to her hip or anything.
That's what I was looking at as well. We can't see it there. Or when she's tackling Ichigo.
Need to talk to her about consent. Okay.
Yep.
She's not going to listen. There's just no way.
Right, so see the next couple panels. Just want to touch on them real quick because it's immediately after we get introduced to her as a lieutenant, we see that weird fucking ass hollow appear behind Renji and Ichigo, right? And then obviously Chika's there and she shouts out to warn her dad, but they can't see it. So that makes me think that obviously the kids are going to be playing a huge part. Because no offense or anything, but Ichigo and Renji, they're dumb dummies sometimes, right? But they're not that fucking.
Oh my god, their passive perceptions are terrible.
Yeah, even they're not that dumb that they wouldn't have seen that. So I think that these hollows could only make themselves visible the moment they struck somebody. It was only as they struck Renji that Ichigo even noticed that it was there. And it was a daughter. She was the only person that could see it. None of the other captains, none of the other lieutenants there even looked at it. So nobody could sense this thing appearing. It's only her.
Well, my theory is that there's the panel where she's just come through the Senkai and she's hiding. And you can see very clearly up in the top right-hand corner of the panel a hell butterfly. And I wonder if it's her proximity to that hell butterfly that allows her to see it.
Ooh, that's a good point.
The other thing that I think is very important to note is, so once everybody can see these hollows, finally, Ikkaku says, these guys don't have a Reiatsu. They're not ordinary hollows. So whatever capabilities Soul Reapers generally use to sense hollows aren't going to help them out very much here.
And Ichigo doesn't do it anyway, so...
Well, no.
Like using their fucking eyes?
Yeah. They're like hellbeast or something like that. I think there was a word.
Ghouls was one of the translations that came up in the scan that I was reading, but I don't know that that's a great not in the sense of Tokyo Ghoul or something. It's clearly not that. Ugh, but
I mean, walking spectacles with the tiniest rib cages ever was the translation that I had in my head.
I'm trying to find where.
It's definitely that loop, isn't it? Is that loop that they're wearing? Is their hollow?
Well, those are the hollow
thing,
holes.
But it's outside of their chests or whatever.
Right. Or wherever they're normally located, because not everybody's hollow hole is in their chest. But yeah.
But I loved Renji, the father-daughter. I feel bad because I feel like Renji just always gets shat on. Doesn't matter what fight he's in.
Yeah.
He just can't win a fight by himself. Has he ever won a fight by himself?
Oh Lord, by himself?
He won Byakuya's respect enough to marry his sister.
Oh no. Oh jeez.
Nomi, that wasn't my question.
But he also kind of won Byakuya's respect in the second season with the throwing of the...
Yeah, but he didn't beat him. He still got his ass fucking kicked.
True, it was a different kind of fight.
I feel like, yeah, Renji doesn't... I don't think he has, like, any solo fights that he just wins, does he?
Because we've seen pretty much all the other characters win some solo fights. Like, we've seen Rukia win a couple, and... Yeah, I feel so bad. I feel like Renji's always done dirty, but I felt like in this section it was kind of justified because obviously his fear for his daughter was his prime priority. And then obviously Ichigo jumps in to help him escape.
Which was a kind of like, I saw a correlation between Ichigo stepping in and telling him to run and take Ichika somewhere safe, and Ichigo stepping in and telling Renji to run away and keep Rukia safe as well. There was that parallel.
I loved Ichika's character in that moment, like, because if obviously we've seen her as like this tough little, like almost kind of like little tomboyish, the way that she is, the way she presents herself, the way she jumps about. I don't really like that word because I don't agree with that word, but you know what I mean, like that kind of feel. And then in this we see her like the softer side. We've got that hard ass side where she's like attacking and fighting, and then we get this soft side of her genuine fear over her father.
Yeah. Because she uses the word father. It's very, very formal. So this is how I led into the whole finding out about the honorific that she used for Yumichika, was finding out what the honorific was that she used or how she addressed her dad, because there's various different ways you can address your father in Japanese. And so I worked together with Louise again, and we worked out that we couldn't exactly see the hiragana because you've got with the Japanese text, you've got both. Is it the kanji and the hiragana?
Kanji, hiragana, and katakana are the three options you have. Yeah,
and the hiragana helps you read what the kanji is meant to be. But the scan that we had was so blurred that we couldn't see it. But we could definitely tell that the second one is sama. And the first one is either Chi-Chi or To.
That's very, very formal.
Well, it's very formal.
Yeah, so it's To-sama or Chi-Chi-sama is how she refers to her dad, from what we could see. So she does have that formality of probably being brought up by having an uncle who is Byakuya.
That's what I was thinking,
Yes.
So she's been kind of brought up with that nobility.
Rukia is a pretty formal speaker as well. So one of her parents probably defaults to that kind of etiquette.
But then when she's with her friends, the Rukon of her dad comes out. I don't know.
Yeah. It reminded me of Hiyori a little, and I think the hair definitely helped, but like also personality, and also she's like a small spitfire of a person.
And they've probably met because you've got that bit in the epilogue when Kazui's at the warehouse and he always scares him away. So the three of them have all probably met.
Probably. I like Yori's probably pretty checked out at this point, TBH, but...
Yeah.
I'll admit, like, page 59 threw me. See page 59 where Ichigo's shouting, "Who the hell are you?" I thought that was... we're butchering his name. Who's that punching captain? What's his name again?
What?
The guy that punches...
Tensei?
That's him, yeah. He looks like him. Tell me that he doesn't look like him in that panel.
I kind of see it, but... The punching captain.
I mean, a little, yeah. Especially like 1,000-Year Blood War arc version of Kensei. Kensei was like so buff and big when we first meet him, and I feel like he gets what's the word, like svelte as the manga goes on. Yeah. He also kind of looks like Grimjow, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I think he kind of looks like Grimjow a little.
A little. There's definitely similarities.
He's not got the thing on his face, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I one of my other points, and this is something that makes me excited and nervous. One of my biggest gripes about Bleach, one of the things that I disliked about a lot of its later. This is why for me Soul Society is definitely one of my favourites in the arcs of Bleach, is we get a lot of fights, and apart from the fight with Ukiura and Grimjow, I'll exclude them and Aizen too, we get a lot of fights with characters I don't give a shit about. Like, they get introduced, they've got a gimmick, they die. I don't care. I don't give a shit about them. Like, I already know that they're just there to be kill fodder for the main characters. But the way this is set up, the way that this is talked about, where obviously we get Kuraku giving us that explanation of spiritual class being introduced, and that a lieutenant has like 4th or 5th class, but a captain has 3rd class and above, meaning that they have spiritual pressure too dense to be reabsorbed back into the soil of the Soul Society, so it gets sent to hell. With that explanation and the confirmation that Ukitake is in hell, because we see his Shikai sword coming out to stab person. What's his name?
Style.
Just totally escaped me. Yeah. That's him. Yep, him.
I've never heard it pronounced that way, but that's so cool.
I feel like that's what they say in the dub, and I have been saying it in my head that way for long enough now that that's just what I say.
Yeah.
Xylaparo.
Because I've always been Seireitei, and then I shorten it to Seizel. That's how I've pronounced it.
Well, that guy. That guy. Yeah.
The one with the pink hair, yeah.
Yes. But if that is the case, I am excited for where that will lead us in terms of upcoming battles and conflict, because are we going to get these fights? Are we going to see Ukiura come back? Are we going to see Ukitake come back? Yamamoto?
I think we might. I think the Shikai was a little tease. I'm gonna take off my fangirl hat and put on my analysis hat, and I feel like mentioning Ukitake's name that many times, and then whatever. Oh my god, I actually get to go off about this now. Fucking finally.
Yes.
So there's a whole fucking thing in the final arc where Ukitake initiates the Kamikake ceremony, releases the right hand of the Soul King, and then keeps things stable for all of 2 seconds while Ichigo is fighting. This is a name I don't know how to say. Iwatch? Juhabak? Whatever. That guy. That person. And then eventually he passes out. And throughout, so that's chapter, 616, 617, 618-ish. And then throughout the next 50-odd chapters, he's not really talked about except for Mayuri saying one time, and I cross-referenced several translations available. So Mayuri says after Ukitake lost consciousness. He never says died. He never said. It's clear that he's still hanging on. And I have additional theories as to why Ukitake probably couldn't have lived long past this anyway. That's fine. And I've made my peace with that now, genuinely. But I felt like it was teased for so long throughout the final bits of the final arc that Ukitake might still somehow be alive, and he might just have lost his powers or his ability to fight, or who the fuck knows. And then so we get nothing. Mayuri expressly says lost consciousness, and then the next time we overtly see him in any way, it's his gravestone. So that bothered me throughout the final arc. That is actively something I'm a little bitter about. But knowing that that's the way that was structured, I feel like there's been enough teasing in the latter part of the final arc, and then also we hear Ukitake's name mentioned so many times, relatively, in this chapter, and then we just see that very, very distinct Shikai. And knowing that we got to see Xyle reemerge like that with a different look and different capabilities, I would be more surprised if we didn't see some iteration of Ukitake, even if it's only brief and even if it's hard to look at or unpleasant, than if we saw nothing. I feel like we're gonna see some version of him again.
Yeah. Definitely, Ukitake is definitely, we're definitely going to get something with that. But you can't throw out his Shikai.
Yeah.
You're never going to throw out his Shikai and have all these fish references to him throughout this and not bring an element of him back for this. But yeah. I was also wondering as well,
He's from hell, and he had a respiratory ailment. There are too many things.
Yeah, there's too many. But I was also thinking, this could open up the floodgates for loads of characters that have died coming back as potential upcoming villains. And I was also thinking, how do we know what spiritual class Ichigo's mother could have been?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that was where my head went as well.
Because I did some research on this spirit class, because this isn't the first time we've heard of this.
Oh.
If you cast your mind back to episode 25, I think it was, manga chapter 83, you've got Ichigo and the gang in the Rukon about to go into a cannon to blast them off into the Seireitei. And you've got Ganju and Kukaku. And Ganju's telling him about his brother. And Ganju talks about Kaien and how Kaien is a genius and Kaien has graduated and how Kaien had a spiritual power of level 6. And that was as he was graduating the academy. So
I got so excited for a second. I was like, is Kaien in hell? And then were they reunited? No. No, clearly not.
Yeah.
That would be too many nice things for my boy in one place, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I also don't think so, because he was absorbed by Aranero. So Aranero's probably down there.
Yeah, probably.
And Aranero's just teasing Ukitake by putting his Kaien face on, if you really wanted to.
What a bitch! Stop that!
Like he did to Rukia.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is going to be if Kubo has remembered that he's already mentioned this before, and I had to double check that it was in both the manga and the anime, and it just wasn't an anime thing, because there was differences between that conversation, but it is in the manga as well. So whether it is Kubo has remembered this and he's bringing it back and reiterating it with this new wives' tale to continue on with it, or if he has completely forgotten about it and this is something new.
It was Rukia's reaction to a lot of this news as well. Like, did you see Rukia's ran up to Kuraku and grabbed him by his Hiyori and my heart.
I imagine they've gotten pretty close over the past many years.
I reckon she goes to visit Ukitake's grave, so she probably goes. I actually had that as a section of my fan fiction. One of my fan fictions that I wrote, where she shows up for the burial type thing, although it's not really technically a burial because he's reabsorbed, but like their version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can I make a plug for a really fucking sad fanfic that I wrote one time that also has Rukia visiting Ukitake's grave? I can't remember what I called it, but the whole point of it was that, so it was, the first part is from Nanao's perspective and the second part is from Ukitake's perspective. And so there's also a whole thing, which, like, I don't know, I like words a lot. And so Nanao's name has a 7 in it and Ukitake's name, Jushiro, has a 14 in it. And so this was like fresh on the heels of the final arc of, like, I wrote this, like, no, you know what? I wrote it for the 1-year anniversary. I wrote it in 2017, I think. But the first half has 700 words exactly, and that's Nanao's POV. The next half has 700 words exactly, and that's Ukitake's POV. Because it's a whole thing about Nanao being like, oh shit, I'm only half of what he was, and I can't fill this void, and everything is sad. It's not a happy piece. It's really not a happy piece at all.
Yeah, is that like filling the void for Kuraku?
Yeah. Kyoku's in it briefly as well. Yeah.
Oh,
I just, it fucked me up, man. But like, actually, slight sidebar is like, I think it's very cool to get invested in story. This is gonna be like, I'm getting up on a soapbox briefly, just to say, like, I think it is so cool that stories that pull us in this way exist, and like we really get to know these characters and we grow very, very attached to them, and we feel a lot of actual love. I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody, but my experience is like feeling some version of very strong love for a lot of these characters, right? And there's a level of safety in it because it's fiction. And so in the way that if you walk around just giving your love freely to real people, there are more complicating factors, and so sometimes people guard themselves, and it's easy to worry about things like getting hurt. But when I'm reading a manga and I'm giving so much love to a character like Ukitake, for example, like there's a level of like, oh, this just feels good and safe and nice, even if bad things happen to him sometimes. And so I had the experience of Ukitake being killed off in this really, really sudden way, and because I had just loved so openly throughout this whole entire manga, I then like didn't really have any choice but to experience, I think, like some actual version of grief. And like, so whatever, my experience with Bleach actually taught me a lot about processing grief, and I feel like I'm a much stronger person because of chapter 686, even though it pisses me the fuck off. So that's all. It was hard, but I'm really glad for it.
Yeah. I like feeling intense emotions for animated characters in mangas and stuff. I'm incredibly loyal to something. Like when I finish something that genuinely had my heart, I really struggle to move on from it. That's when I know it was something really good. And Bleach has always been one of those things that I really struggled to move on from when I finished, which is why I delved into the world of fan fiction and things, and then obviously found you guys, formed our little family and community of souls.
Yeah.
Yep. And but yeah, I was like the only other piece of media in my life that I've ever felt this passionately about was, well, actually two, was Dragon Ball Z and Harry Potter. But it's only ever happened to be twice in my life before, and yeah.
Yeah. It's Lord of the Rings for me. It's Bleach and Lord of the Rings. Those are, yep.
Lord of the Rings is good.
Yeah. Oh, man. Anyway, not to divert too sharply, but seemed like the thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I wanted to applaud Kubo for the way he's offering exposition here. There are a lot of powers that we hadn't seen before. Like, I don't think we've ever seen Akon's Shikai in action before, for example. And I thought that this chapter did a really good job of, like, we got a lot of new stuff, and I think handled less delicately. It could have sounded very exposition-y, and it could have been kind of shoehorny too, like, oh, we just have to get all this in here because, like, new chapter, here's this gimmick, we're going to show you so many powers, whatever. But it's very, very clear from the word go, I think, that we're gonna be... So, like, a lot of the lingering questions were like, oh, there are so many people whose Shikai and Bankai and stuff we never got to see. Like, well, shit, we're never gonna see those now. That's clearly not the case. And I think it's also clear that Kubo was going to give us fights that justify the use of those Shikai and those Bankai. And so yeah, like never once when reading, like I was always really, really impressed. I was always really, really pleased. Like every time somebody revealed a new power, it felt like it fit well into the story, even though the context of the Soul Funeral Festival is, I think, new to us in this chapter. Like there's a lot of setup that's required, but like it feels feasible. That 12-year waiting period, this ceremony, all of that feels feasible to me. Like there's a reason for them to be going and fighting hollows. It's not just a random attack or something.
I did kind of wonder about the significance of 12 years, though. It just...
Yeah, I didn't find anything.
The only thing I can find is that Burn the Witch also happens 12 years later. And so if a crossover were to happen between the Western and the Eastern branches, the timelines are now in frame that they can have that crossover.
Oh,
okay, fair enough.
I really want that. Like, I can't begin to describe enough how much I want to see the characters from the West interacting with them.
Although it makes me sad that Chijiro's not going to be there. Because of his whole thing for his love for everything English.
Yeah. That's a wait. Also, hang on. There was some other dude in the first division that I was like, "Who are you?" And maybe it's just something from the light novels that I haven't.
No,
I assume he's the third seed. His name starts with an O. I've got it written down somewhere.
No, he's the lieutenant.
He's the lieutenant. Oh, wait, he's the lieutenant because
yeah,
when Kuraku got still the two lieutenant thing that they're doing. Okay.
Yeah, when Kuraku got first, he was like, "I want 2 lieutenants," and Sentinel 46 was like, "No, you're not allowed that."
I forgot that Sasuke wasn't in the picture anymore. My mind just had him there forever, ageless and undying. Ignore me.
Yeah. Because he wanted Nanao, because Nanao's the only one that can handle him, but he wanted the previous third seed because he's the one who knows the first division the best, so that's why he's got 2.
I just forgot that person altogether, LOL. Okay.
Yeah. He doesn't say anything. He just stands there and nods.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't even know who you're talking about, so it's all good. We've got 3 different levels here.
I wrote his name down and I can't find it. What the hell?
It's all
like
good.
Akiba, isn't it, or something?
Sure.
If I need to know who he is, he'll pop up.
I'm just annoyed for me now. It's fine. It super doesn't matter.
I've got a light one before we go into a heavy discussion one.
Okay.
It's just the little details that have been added to these characters, like, yeah, okay, we can moan and gripe about the hairs, and how people who once had short hair have now grown it out again, so they're looking like they were before time skips and everything, looking at you, Toshiro. But you've got different like embellishments to their shikautsos. Like Soifon's gained this amazing pair of gloves.
Yeah.
Elise's very similar to her World of the Living outfit with her socks. And then you've got, and this is my favorite, Rose's crop top Hayori.
I live. I'd say crop top king, but he's a crop top prince. He's a little, yeah. Oh.
And of course, I can't talk about Rose without talking about Kira's entrance and his outfit and the little kind of, I don't know, like the little relationship between him and Akon, like the little banter they had. And then just the kind of insight that we get to the squad dynamics as well when Mayori's popping up all over the place. You get that little inside look. I always said to myself, I would be happy as long as I get to see Shinji and Momo. And I saw them. And that little dynamic of Momo just telling Shinji to shut up just shows how much confident and how much growth those two have had. Then you've got Hiyone being the voice of reason for Isane and Hanataro, who were absolutely terrified that Mayori's there.
Yeah.
Toshiro and Rangiku, bless them, haven't really changed. And it's just those little bits of squad dynamics that you see. I found his name, by the way. It's Oki Kiba.
Sure.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
I loved it. I loved Kira rocking the hood. He had that hood on, didn't he? And he was just taking that hood down.
Yes.
I was like, yeah. That's cool.
He did make
you go ahead,
he even
Emo.
says it. He's like, make an entrance. It's also nice to see that Sentaro and Kione still have that kind of, they still have that relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Even though they're now in different divisions. And I ship them even more now than I did before. But yeah.
Also, Kione just getting stabbed right away was such a bummer.
I know, that's what I thought
visibly
too.
gasped and had to walk away at that point. And like, that's, I think, when I went to start making dinner for the people I support at work. Because I was like, I need to stop and do some work now and then I'll come back to this.
Yeah.
Because that was too much of a shock. I was like, no, poor Kione, she gets stepped on when Ryoko invades and now she's getting stabbed.
Yeah, she's not having a good time of it.
No, she's not.
I wish we'd got to see long-haired Shinji again, though, I'm not going to lie.
It's probably a lot of work to maintain that, though. I don't blame him for keeping it short.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he can't even cut a fringe straight, so...
That was a deliberate aesthetic choice. For sure.
And then, let's talk about the big one. Something Zyle says, that he says, Aizen's disappeared.
Yeah. Okay, I wondered if I read that and I was like, oh, this is probably something from the light novels I don't know, but is that not the case? That's just a new information drop?
That's new information for me,
fuck.
I believe.
Good
like,
Lord.
the last time we see him is he's put back in the Merkin at the end of Thousand Year Blood War.
Yeah.
And I think there's I can't remember which light novel. If it is, let me stretch. It'll be the first volume. Where Kuraku goes to see him in the Merkin, or Tokunada from Can't For Your Own World.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody else, and that's what I can't remember. But for as far as I'm aware, he is still in the Merkin. Even if we are taking Can't For Your Own World, because that would be the only one that would have happened in this 12-year period, would be Can't For Your Own World, because that took place 6 months after 1,000 Year Blood War.
Okay. Okay, then I guess we're just going to put a pin in that, because that's kind of all we can do, right? Like,
yeah.
Because we, like, the Yuhaba thing is explained at the end, in the epilogue, with Kazui dispelling the last remnants of Yahaba's soul. That's that kind of ending of the epilogue.
How is Kazui in the light novels? Is he boisterous and brave, or is he very much like Orihime?
He's not in the light novels.
LOL.
Oh, is he not? Okay.
No. Yeah, the only light novel that would have been about... He wasn't even born for Can't Wait Feel Your Own World, so no, neither of them are in the light novels.
Okay.
So yeah. It was just the fact that it was like, Aizen's... He just casually says, Aizen's disappeared. And I'm like, is that not something the captain should be worried about? Like, big bad big bad Eisens on the loose? Do they really have time for this Conso Risei at the moment? Shouldn't they be finding Eisen?
Yeah, I'm just going to trying to read that bit again, but gosh, yeah, I didn't make note of that because I assumed it was just something I was unaware of. Wow.
Kind of a big deal. It's like, it reminds me of that scene in bloody Marvel, like Infinity War, where like the Secretary of State walks in and he's like, where's Banner and where's Thor? If I misplaced a couple of 1,000-ton nuclear missiles, you bet there'd be consequences. And I'm like, they've misplaced a big fucking nuclear missile. It's just gone missing.
It's odd to me. Okay, so in my scan as well, like the background image of that info drop from Zyle is a fish again. So I'm now like, is there some connection that we're supposed to be speculating
what
about?
Page is this?
I don't know. Mine doesn't have page numbers.
It's 67. Oh yeah, there's the fish. Yeah, because that's when he name drops Yamamoto and Unohana, which I think that they are also going to be in there. If they name drop the big three, all three of them. I mean, they're the big three.
He says the powerful spiritual pressures that were holding the Maw of Hell shut, Sosuke Aizen and Mr. Quincy, have disappeared.
So it's these three like things that have disappeared. The spiritual pressures that were holding back the mouth of hell.
Yeah, he says the powerful spiritual pressures have disappeared, essentially. So if they lock Aizen up, does that compress? Does that hide his spiritual pressure? Maybe he's still in that world, but his spiritual pressure is now hidden away?
Wait a second. Isn't he wearing Ryatsu inhibitors when he's in Muken?
Yeah, so maybe Seizo's just referring to
maybe
the fact that he can't sense them anymore. Well, I think it's three different things. I think the powerful spiritual pressures that were holding the Maw of Hell shut, that's something different to Aizen and Yahaba.
Oh,
I think
really?
It's three different things. Yeah. So you've got the powerful spiritual pressures, whatever that is. Then you've got Aizen, who is a separate identity, and Yahaba, who is a separate identity. That's how I'm interpreting that as.
Right.
See, I thought the ellipsis meant that it was a continuation of the sentence.
Well, because and ... So it's they've all got the ellipses before and after.
Mine does not, which that's just editors are editors and who, people make choices. My thought was that it was about balance again. And so like the reason that Zyle is able to just pop up from hell is because it's like when you're trying to fit too many clothes into a suitcase.
Osmosis.
Kind of like osmosis. Yeah, something has to enter and then something has to leave. Yeah, so I thought it was saying that, like, on this side, on the non-hell side of the Maw of Hell, we once had these massive spiritual presences, which were Aizen and Mr. Quincy, in addition to Unohana and Yamamoto and Ukitake. And so there was enough balance. Things didn't need to come up from hell because there was enough heavily concentrated Ryatsu on this side of things. And now that you're just so Aizen's Ryatsu, let's say, this is how I'm understanding it. This could be incorrect and we might get contradicting information later. Aizen's Ryatsu is inhibited now, so it's no longer contributing to that balance if he's bound in Muken. Mr. Quincy's gone. And Unohana, Ukitake, and Yamamoto have all been yeeted down to hell, so now people in hell are getting yeeted out into the world of the living because that balance needs to be maintained. That could be wrong, but that's how I'm reading that now.
It's kind of interesting as well because we've had this, I don't know if it's confirmation of the name of this arc, in quotation marks, because this is a one-shot. It's called The Echoing Jaws of Hell, is what it's being referred to as, or Howl Jaws of Hell, depending on your translations. But the fact that we're getting this arc could lead to something more, but it's like the Jaws of Hell, and then you've got him saying, holding the Maw of Hell shut, and Maw is mouth, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the mouth of a canine usually.
So you have got that. You've got the very much teeth symbolism going around, which is a really weird thing to have symbolize. When there was eyes before, when Kazooie opened up the gates. But then again, you've got the teeth symmetry when they're opening up gargantuans, going into Hueco. That's teeth symmetry as well. Not symmetry, symbolism.
Yeah.
Why can't I speak today?
Teeth and eyes, yeah, for sure. I love the fact that Joshiro Akitaki's just been casually spying on Ichigo through his soul pass.
That's not new.
That's right in front of Joshiro's.
He's been doing that for so long.
I mean, poor thing, he's now married with a kid, so let's just hope he put that in a drawer somewhere, okay?
Unless they have an open poly relationship that they've discussed.
Maybe. Was there anything else, or?
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I think just to say that, like, it was really good to see Xyle again, and like I don't. It's another instance where like I don't really actually have much to say, but I liked that he was able to evolve in this way, and like the fact that he acknowledged feeling lonely was like, oh, buddy. Like I've always felt for him. I'm sure that when we get to the Mayuri Xyle fight in the anime watch through, more of this will come up, but like. Yeah, he was a good choice to have deliver this information. I'm glad we got to see him again. That's all.
Although, when you said Mayuri, it reminded me of Ichika, and shout out to Ichika for channeling her inner Dell and saying that Mayuri was
she was excited to see him, wasn't she?
Meanwhile, I'm like, Mabuki, please teach your daughter not to call the scary guy cool.
He is cool. He is cool. Damn it.
And do you know what's cool? Kenpachi pretended to be a plane on that front panel. For the opening cover, he is pretending to be an aeroplane. He's channeling his inner aeroplane.
I stared at that front panel for far too long, just analysing everything. And somebody else pointed this out, but we haven't seen Kenpachi's face this whole entire.
Yeah, I wonder what that's about.
He's always got his back turned. Yeah. And then. Thank you, Kubo, for giving us not buff Kon, because the last time we saw Kon, he was all buff and jacked from whatever R&D did to him, but now he's back to normal, so that's kind of cool.
So weird. I didn't like that one bit.
The whole of the times in Year Blood War was kind of weird sometimes. There were various points that I'm just like, I'm so confused.
Choices were made.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm looking forward to animated, because sometimes like seeing that much action written in manga form, I get a little bit lost.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it animated, it's probably going to be easier for me to keep up, but there was some stuff that I just had to dip in to see.
Yeah.
I had to. Yeah.
And speaking of animation, if this continues, more animation?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. That would be awesome.
Yes, hopefully. Okay, are you ready for my little questions then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go for it.
You're right, okay. Now, we're starting off with one that you are probably very familiar with. So this is like an impromptu Peroxide Cup thing. Whose new look did you like the best?
Oh my god.
Lisa's. Just because you get a glimpse of it in the epilogue, and you see that it's a crop top, but you don't see the extent of how she's channeling her inner world of the living look in her Shikautsu until here. And because, of course, Lisa's my queen. So, Lisa.
Yeah. I think, like, I'm not trying to be extra on main about it, but I genuinely, Yumachika. I really liked this update. Yeah.
You two have called out mines. I had Yumachika and Lisa written down for mine as well. What about who didn't you like? Is there any of these were like, not a fan?
Not really for me, actually.
I like Rukia's hairstyle.
Ugh.
Oh, I guess I didn't love Rukia's hair. I think I fall into that camp, actually. Good point.
Maybe, I don't know. People who didn't had like Vangiku's got long hair. I think that's probably the most disappointing to me because I really liked her with the short hair that she had after TLA.
It's like medium length,
ish.
Yeah, I like the short hair too. Though that was cool.
All right. What about which new lieutenant are you most excited for?
Oh my god! Yeah, it's gotta be Rindo.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he is on track to becoming like a fave. If he gets to do more stuff, he will be a full on Shinji and Ukitake and Zyle and such level fave for me. He could achieve that status in my heart.
Yeah, no, I'm on board.
Agreed.
I'm in Windows camp. Yep.
Yep. Me too. I'm right there with you. Right there. And finally, make one prediction for the future. Based on this comic, make one prediction that you think we will see in the future.
I'm just going to harken back to something that I asserted before, because it's A, something I'm very excited about, and B, something I really think is going to happen. I think we are going to see Ukitake again, and I would not be surprised if we see Unohana and Yamamoto again as well.
I think there's going to be some sort of passing the torch between, like, taking from what you were saying about the younger generation and the older generation. I do feel like there is going to be a torch passing almost with Kazui and Ichika and their parents kind of like passing the torch. Not that anyone's going to die or like anything, but I do feel like there is going to be a torch passing and it is going to then move on to them. That's what I think.
Yeah, I do think they're going to have a big play in this. Mm-hmm. So my prediction is very similar to Dell's, but I've gone one step further. I think we're going to see Kuraku and Ukitake fight.
I think we will also, because we haven't seen Ukitake's Bankai yet either, and I think we're going to see that. I think we may actually see that.
Yes, and also that could be said against for Unohana versus Kenpachi potentially.
Oh, a rematch. Yeah.
I wonder if it's going to be Ikaku, not Unohana, because we've already had Unohana versus Kenpachi. I wonder if it's going to be Ikaku.
Oh, that would then go with the torch passing as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
That you see in the start.
But yeah, I've got Kuraku and Ukitake as my main.
I wonder. Ooh, we could also, depending, because I wonder if it would be a callback to the first arc again. I wonder how things would start and progress is still up in the air, of course, but if we could have another Kyoraku and Ukitake versus Yamamoto moment, and like it's another instance of self-sacrifice for Ukitake if he has to. Like if he's already dead, then why wouldn't he help his best friend, you know?
I don't think I'm going to be emotionally prepared.
I'm doing very well at keeping this together, but it's not easy.
The other one I had written down is Rangiku versus Gin.
Oh, fuck! Oh, wow! Good call! Oh, shit!
Yeah. Sorry!
Okay.
Wait
Can we then throw in Hisage and Tosen?
I was gonna say Tosen versus Atao because I just think that would be a really fucking cool fight.
Ooh.
Rindo, the new lieutenant. I don't know. I just want. I get excited that. Anyway, I think that could be pretty cool. Maybe,
especially if they pull the stuff from Can't For Your Own World and the abilities and the bankais we've gained from that novel into this, then some of these fights are gonna be next level.
They really are. And the other thought that I had... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and because we care about the characters on both sides, it's going to be even more emotional.
Yeah, I know! Kumo knew what he was doing, that motherfucker!
Yes! Asshole!
Yes! I also... this is more a wish than a prediction. I would be surprised if we just never see Urahara and Yoruichi again. Like, that would be surprising. But I'm also like, oh shit, hey Kisuke, how you doing, buddy? You know?
I mean, he's in the middle of a war. He's far too busy.
Sure, but like, also like straight up, there's a fan artist who I really, really like who headcanoned. What did he headcanon? I want to say it's that I haven't looked at this. I just haven't been on Tumblr in a while, but there's like an ongoing thing in their art where Kisuke like. Has trouble with his eyes post Bankai and like continues to have those like stitchy type scars all over himself. And like I don't think there's any metaphysical justification for that, but I'm also like we didn't really see what he was like after he like went Bankai, and he didn't show up again really, did he? In the final arc. I don't think so. So I'm and we didn't really see what happened to Yoruichi after she went like cat, like full lightning cat.
She went feral.
So I'm curious. I'm curious about how they're doing. Like, quite earnestly. I wonder if they maybe have if they had some scars to tend to, literal or otherwise, in the wake of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Urahara is selling people shitty TVs doesn't mean he's okay.
Those TVs are top of the range. People
are really.
I mean,
do you actually?
They'll be spying on them. They'll be like analyzing all their data. Yeah.
I don't trust that man. I love him. I do not trust him.
I'm pretty sure he knows exactly how Chica came into this world.
Yeah. Long headcanon that there's more of a technological advancement in the Soul Society just because of the fact when the Visors came back, they would have told them about all these cool things they had in the world of the living. Kensei's going to want his Netflix, internet. People have computers now. All of the paperwork will be done on computer, and Byakuya's still there with his pen because he doesn't trust the technology.
You just know that Shinji never streams music, though. Like, he is still only records all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta be.
Much better sound. It's the acoustics.
I could see Lisa bringing this up as well. Like, you could just press a button and get porn? What?
Oh, shit, she
doesn't like her Kindles. She likes the books. Something about the books,
Yeah.
And that's it. That was all I had for you.
Yeah, that's that's everything like meaningful that I have to say. Everything else is just screaming into the void.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, so much for keeping this to 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Wait, can I actually offer one more thing because I thought we were going to do our Shinigami Cup and then we decided not to. Sorry, listeners, if that's your favorite part, like listen to the next episode because we'll do it again then. Something that would have been my double take that now that I'm not mentioning it there, I do want to say is there is just like there is parallel imagery that really fucking sent me. Once again, I don't have page numbers, so I'm sorry, but it's when Zyle comes in. And there is this shot of him, like he's almost silhouetted, and then he's got his hollow hole behind him. It's that big ring. His whole entire face is just completely in shadow, but you can see his eyes, but only one has a pupil, and he's got this like dope undercut moment happening. Except it's not really an undercut because there were horns. Whatever. Yeah. Anyway, and there's like this inky black substance rising up behind him out of this circle, and it just looked to me so much like that panel from 616 where Ukitake is initiating Kamikake and Mimihagi rises up behind him, behind his back.
Yeah.
It just looks so similar. I don't know what it means. It may mean nothing, but given that Ukitake is a subject of conversation later and that Zyle clearly knows him and acknowledges him and speaks about him, I was like, that can't... I'm choosing to believe it's not an accident, even though I don't know what it means yet. Yeah. That's all.
Page 53, Lethan, if you're looking.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. I was already looking at it.
Have you... So on that note, though, because of the similarities, have you seen the new designs for Ukitake and Kuraku in Bleach Brave Souls, though?
I don't think so.
Okay. Ukitake...
I've never been able to actually get excited about Bleach Brave Souls, and like mad respect to folks who do. It's just not my thing. Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's these designs. They've had the supervising director of Kubo, and
yes, that I know, and the voice actors. Are like when they like announce like some of the Squad Zero folks, like
yeah.
Sorry.
This specific design, I'm going to post a picture of it.
Please do.
Because it makes me wonder. It's almost. The rumors was that it's beyond Bankai. So we're getting like a little bit of Ukitake's Bankai, or what the potential for Ukitake's Bankai could be.
Oh, okay.
I haven't logged in past 4, so I'm getting Hisagi's birthday. Oh, he was with Rose.
Oh, okay.
Hang a sec. Skip. Okay. They're part of the Spirits of Whoever With You campaign, but let me... Filter by character.
I've had theories about it. I mean, unsurprisingly, I've had theories about his Bankai for years, but
the thing that gets us is because there's also one for Kuraku, and Ukitake is standing in Kuraku's pose, and Kuraku is standing in Ukitake's pose.
This works well with my theory, which, okay, whatever. I can go on record and just like say what I think the most likely candidate for his Bankai is now. If we're gonna, because considering we might see it later in this arc, I feel like that's not unlikely. So in the simplest and most distilled, I'm gonna try and be short about this. Broadly speaking, so in the Yamamoto versus Kyoraku and Ukitake fight from the first arc, Yamamoto is like, "Oh, you two together in battle are unparalleled," and I feel like up to now, we haven't really seen a great example of their powers working successfully in tandem. Like, Ukitake's Shikai doesn't work super well with Kyoraku's Shikai, for example. And, like, maybe... Oh, fuck. Look at these ropes. Hey, buddy. Look at this. Okay, this is cool. This is cool. I'm looking at the image, listeners, is what I'm doing now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I will... Why? Oh, this is this inverse thing. Look at these colors reversing. Look at his hair.
Yeah,
Holy
his hair. That's what I was thinking. His
this
hair's
okay, so
turning black.
This still could work. This well, because we know that he's good at like taking some. His Shikai takes something, manipulates it and sends it back. So this idea of like mirrors and reversal, like that, this is all lining up. I think, and also this kind of looks like fire, and he has so much water imagery connected to him, and so that balance and back and forth thing. Oh, this is tight as fuck. I'm a big fan of this.
Wow.
Anyway. Okay, so super broad. We haven't seen their Shikai work together super well, whatever. So I think Kyoraku and Ukitake have complementary Bankai, and that's what Yamamoto was referring to. So we know that Kyoraku's Bankai is indiscriminate. It hurts everybody. It even hurts him. It sucks, and he can't bust it out if his allies are too close because he doesn't want to risk hurting them. I also think there is deliberate. Like, we know that Squad 13 is all about hope, and we know that Ukitake himself is largely and has been an embodiment of that principle. Kyoraku, not so much Squad 8 per se, but Kyoraku himself, like, despair, depression, sinking in deep water, like, not... he takes people down with him by the sheer force of his power and also, like, emotion. So, that together, I was like, okay... Because, of course, the one time we saw Kyoraku use his Bankai, Ukitake had already done the Kamikake thing and had collapsed. So he wasn't around to help out with this, even if he'd wanted to. So I think, especially knowing that Ukitake's release command is... it has that part that says, the become my shield part. So all waves rise now and become my shield, lightning strike now and become my blade, which is something that just lives rent-free in my head forever. You're welcome. I think he actually, because we've seen that he has his two blades, so that manifestation has been demonstrated. I wonder whether he creates a big, like, this is going to sound so cheesy, but like a big old hope shield to defend, like, just like, not unlike an anti-life shell for those who are familiar with that Dungeons and Dragons spell, I suppose, but like the idea that nothing can penetrate this area of safety, and it could be very, very big. And so if Kyoraku needs to go Bankai and that's the only option, Ukitake can generate this massive shield to protect his allies, and indeed perhaps his friend, Kyoraku himself. Maybe, but like probably not, because I think self-sacrifice is a big part of Kyoraku's Bankai anyway. So I want to go on record and say that I think it's probably a defensive Bankai with shield-related imagery or capabilities, and now that I'm seeing this image, I wonder if it might have more to... Like, I think it could still be shield-based, but I wonder whether there's something to do with, like, active reversing what's coming to you imagery. Not unlike his Shikai, but in a more shieldy way than in a let-me-shoot-it-back-at-you way.
The description says that his appearance when he has unlocked a power greater than Bankai and has absorbed his fighting partner Shunshui's Kageone.
Ah! Absorbed Kageone?!
Wow. Mm-hmm. What?
Oh, because the other thing is, like, what's the perfect antidote to despair? Like, it's hope, obviously. And, like, Ukitake himself. Because it's like that, it's that thing where your powers are an outward manifestation of your internal soul. And he is truly, he is so hopeful and so fucking grounded that, like, if anybody can be like, I can actually shoulder your shadow demons for a little bit, he can do that. I truly believe he has that capability.
That's so good.
So yeah, let's hope that this is gonna bring us some of Jashiro's Bankai, because that would be something to see. It's the only one really we haven't really seen.
Yeah, because we've seen Shinji's and Brave Souls, right? Somebody messaged me about that.
Yeah, Shinji's like can't fear your own world.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
It's similar to Karaku's in the sense that
it is. I know. I was like, oh, I have a type.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, listeners, thanks for if you've made it this far, thank you for sticking with me as I've diverted multiple times, because I get to be excited about spoilery ukitake things on main for once, and it's been a year and a half of not doing that. So genuinely, if you are still here, thank you for sticking with it, because I have a lot of love, and up to now I've had nowhere to put it. I appreciate the hell out of you. Ha 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 ha. Jokes, puns, we love it. Yeah, no, it wasn't good, but we're here.
Yeah, that's all good. Well, is that everything then?
Yeah, I think I feel as satisfied as I'm going to.
Yeah. I think that's about as far as we can go. That's about as far as we can go. But hopefully, if we get any further stuff coming out, we might make another impromptu podcast. We never know. We'll talk about it.
I feel like we have.
If this does get serialized, I think we'll need to sit down and plan our course of action for.
Yeah. And we'll keep you all posted.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we end up forming a plan, we're on our current regular 2-week schedule with the other podcast episodes, but if the manga is serialized in a predictable way that has a pattern and a schedule, then I feel like we'll do something about that, and you all will know what it is. We'll keep you as informed as we make those decisions. So thank you for your patience in the interim.
Yes, and thank you for putting up with all of our fan souling. We appreciate it.
Yeah, lots of squealing.
Right then, well, you wonderful souls, that is the end of another episode. If you like what you heard and you want to get involved, you can find us by searching for TheSeireitei on Facebook, Tumblr and Instagram, and TheSeireitei on Twitter. Each of these platforms will link you to our fantastically deadly Discord family, where you can chat with us about the show, read fan fiction, take part in creative challenges, and talk anything and everything Bleach. Now, Ichigo and Rukia might reap souls, but we are hoping to reap some 5-star reviews, and that is where you come in. Make our favourite orange-haired protector and Ichigo to iTunes to rate us, review us, and make us feel like number one!
I never get to join in with that part! That was fun!
I know! That was
good. Doing it!
I bet you have it, yeah.
Woo!
To those of you listening on YouTube, don't forget to be like Chad and give us that good thumbs up. We really appreciate it. Now, the next episode of our podcast will be a regular scheduled episode, and if you missed the anime episodes that we mentioned before, here they are again. We're going to be covering anime episodes 122, Visored, The Power of the Awakened, 123, Ichigo, Complete Holification, and 124, Collision, Black Bankai, and the White Bankai. We'll see you souls then. Till next time. Bye!
Bye!